Now for an update on the Colombian peace process taking place in Cuba. How the conflict has affected its victims and how they will receive justice remains the main topic of discussion. Our correspondent Natalia Margarita now explores the idea of justice in Colombia and how it might be reached.
Compensation, guarantees of non-repetition, truth, and acknowledgement of responsibility from the perpetrators are among the rights of victims within the frame of transitional justice. That, as according to renowned jurist Gustavo Gallón, who believes the discussion on justice in Colombia has been wrongly reduced to the issue of prison sanctions.
What initially is important to ask is not whether prison terms are going to be applied or not, but rather if there's going to be recognition of the damages, forgiveness asked for, and a serious compensation offer for the victims. As long as that is guaranteed, it is possible to have flexibility in the sanctions.
For lawyer and member of the Historical Commission for the Conflict, Victor Moncayo, the issue of justice that's been widely discussed in Havana necessarily implies an agreement on the nature of Colombia's internal conflict, as well as the recognition of the complexity of factors that have played a role on it.
Now from that point we can start talking about the resulting responsibilities, and among those responsibilities are of course the ones of armed organizations, but also the ones of state agents and state apparatuses.
Since 2008, Luz Marina has been waiting for the state to acknowledge its responsibility over the murder of her 26-year-old son, whose body was then presented in rebel uniform as having been killed in combat by the army. 5,700 young poor men have been extrajudicially killed in order to boost combat cure rates in what is known as the false positive scandal.
In order to speak about transitional justice, I believe the state should first acknowledge its human rights violations, and mainly and foremost that it also bears responsibility for victims that are from the state and not from the insurgency groups.
Luz Marina is just one face of the many victims for whom justice, in the wake of the ongoing peace process, must start with truth clarification and the recognition of the crimes that all actors have committed over the course of more than 50 years of war. Natalia Margarita, Telesur, Bogotá, Colombia.